Yes.
What up, African?
What's up, bro?
Man, not too much, bro.
Oh,
Hey,
my
man.
goodness.
So, we trying to fix these routers in this house.
All right, you came through yesterday, week before last. Seems like yesterday.
Yeah.
And
yeah, the internet just died.
you're not supposed to admit that. You're supposed to be like, they trying to hold me back.
Oh, my bad.
The man,
My
the system,
enemies. My
truth is so powerful.
Y'all know how they do.
Bad internet.
Let me get my Professor Griff on. Y'all know how they do. The Illuminati.
Don't say Griff's name, man. That dude is, man. Poor Griff. Somebody was trying to use Griff against me.
Hey, man.
Did
I tell you the first time I met Griff?
No.
He
What
was just
happened?
talking about the Illuminati and blood sacrifices and
wonderful.
And I was sitting in the audience like, man, can y'all believe this shit? So he kept giving out his phone number. So weeks later, I'm riding, and I was like, man, I'm gonna call Griff. So I called him on the phone. I was like, hey, what up, bro? This Skip. And he was like, who? I was like, this Skip. And he was like, yeah, what's up? I was like, hey, man, I was at your talk, bro. You really think the Illuminati is a bigger threat to us than children being unable to read? And he was like, why you think they can't read, brother? I was like, all right, man.
That was it? You gave up?
Hey, man, laid it down.
No collapse?
Laid it down. There has no questions, no clap back, no nothing. It was just like, man, this nigga crazy.
Hey, look at this dumb shit. I'm sorry, I don't mean to say you're dumb shit, bro. But you know what? I met Griff. I met Griff here in Chicago, and I met Griff in Kansas City. And one time he caught me bootlegging Public Enemy's tapes.
Hey, did he look up at you and shake his finger?
No, he was cool. Nah, but Griff got hands, man. Old school kung fu. But no, he was cool. I was hustling some bootleg Public Enemy shit. Merch, and he wasn't too mad at me.
Oh.
You know, he seemed cool, but I broke him off with some free bootleg merch.
had to pay the tax.
No, listen, that's happened to me more than once. You know, I was bootlegging some Gil Scott-Heron music, and Gil Scott, his longtime collaborator and producer, Brian Jackson, came up and caught me. And he was like, oh, it's cool, man. Keep doing what you're doing. It's all good. And I'm like, I just can't do this shit. I'm not built for like non-political crime.
Hey, man. I wish you had a number on Brian Jackson. He's still alive.
That's a wonderful brother. Just go roam around Brooklyn Academy of Music. Just go roam around, you know, the vegetarian health spots. I just bumped into him. All the times I've met Brian Jackson, I've literally just been roaming around New York City. Now I'll be like, oh shit,
Brian Jackson.
I've never had contact info with him. I never exchanged numbers. The few conversations I've had with him, I just bumped into him roaming around New York City.
Hey, this is what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? All my prayer warriors in the chat. Big prayers up for me to meet two people. Brian Jackson. And Emory Douglas.
Oh, I met Emory Douglas too. Damn, I'm living your life.
Yeah.
I'm living your life.
Bro, I would, this record that is very well in progress. I'll tell you about that. Very well in progress. I would even love for Emery to redo the cover and like to just sit in with Brian Jackson to do something.
Man, Brian Jackson he's still with us, man, and the work he did in the 80s and 70s, but I met him and I told him, man, I was just a big fan. Because I went to see, one of our first dates Eric and I went on, we went to see Gil Scott-Heron at Sounds of Brazil. And I was so disappointed because he was there with his new band, the Midnight Band, I think they were called. He was with this new band, and Brian Jackson wasn't there. And I was really hyped to see Gil Scott, but it's like,
yeah.
But anyway, yeah, and I met in all places. I would like to say, is Berkeley? It's not in Oakland, is it? It's the Bay Area. I was in Berkeley, California, but I lie and tell people I met Emory Douglas in Oakland. But I was on the Berkeley campus. I don't know if the house is open. I don't know geography over too much. But I was like, oh yeah, I met Emory when I was in Oakland, birthplace of the Panther. That's a lie, but sounds better than the Berkeley campus.
Yeah, it makes the story better.
But anyway, that's a good segue. Huh?
You sick?
Yeah, I'm a little under the weather, man. Bad headache. I'm not doing well.
Playing hurt.
Yeah, well, the weather's improving. For so long, I don't understand it. Whenever weather transition, I could be in a deep freeze. I can be in the heat of summer. But whenever weather transition, because it's warming up, like we've been 20 degrees, 3 degrees, 50 below zero here. And then now we were up to 40s, 50s, and 60s. And now it's starting to mess with me. I just can't deal with weather transition. My body acclimates. And then when it transitions, I'm just unwell. So, or I could be faking because Valentine's Day is coming up and I ain't got nothing planned. So I'm going to be under. I need some meat. Okay, could be the veganism, man. Listen. One thing that upsets me about veganism is a lot of vegan gurus pretend like veganism will make you immortal.
Oh, it definitely do.
There are vegan gurus out here who teach that if you eat vegan, your feces, your literally your shit will not stink.
Yep.
Your perspiration will be. You can bottle your own perspiration and sell it as sweet scented oil. Like, there's so many people that be lying on veganism.
I had a dude tell me 100 years ago that because he was a vegan, he didn't have to wear deodorant. He could just rub a potato under his arm.
Yes. And so I don't think they helping the cause like they think they are. But yeah, I don't make any false promises. Yeah, I get sick and shit, aches and pain, all the shit. It has not reversed or ended my aging process. I love Kidi Owadu. He's like 70 years old online doing push-ups and skin tight shirts and shit. I'm like, okay. But I don't think that's veganism. I just think that's, just obsessive.
What's up with your boy that was scantily clad? He was out there wearing
that was not my boy. That was your boy's boy. That was Dr. Ball's boy. That was not my dude.
that was your guy.
No, you get confused. That was Dr. Ball's boy.
That's your guy.
I found out about it the same time you did. You well confused. You're gonna have to make a call to DC. Make a call to Washington to get the answers. Any info on that dude? I don't know nothing about nothing.
Hey man, somebody just put in the chat. Diallo and Jared out here rich as hell. Hey man, listen. When these people be talking bad about people I know on the internet, I, like any good friend, call them and ask them questions about it because I want to make sure that I know what I'm talking about because I be riding with y'all. When this man said Diallo don't want you to have a job, and Jared, they're both like, I forgot what he called y'all, but he was just basically saying like Diallo and Jared out here got money and they just don't want you to have no business, so they ain't got no competition.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, I am a hater, man. Ain't nothing. I have an innate hostility to rich people. I've never I've met some rich people, and every time I'm around rich people, I don't ever feel like aspirational or inspired. And it's not jealousy. It's just hostility. It's just class. I was born a Marxist. I don't know. I just don't like rich people, man. Even my well-to-do relatives, man. So it could be something to that. Maybe that guy.
I ain't gonna tell you what somebody in this house just said. They just said it's self-hatred.
Self-hatred? I never been rich. So how can I?
Diallo got a hey y'all. Diallo got a 3-story mansion in Bronzeville. He got a 3-story mansion in Bronzeville. You know what I'm saying? Al Capone rolling over in hell because of the way Diallo living.
Modest condo on the south side. Modest. But beyond all that, beyond all you trying to ruin my reputation, how you been?
Man, let me tell you something, bro. The challenges have been the challenges, but the blessings have been even greater, man. The challenges have been the challenges, but the blessings are even greater. Like healthy, Natalie's healthy, boys are healthy. I'm going to Memphis tomorrow. Miles Garvey made the state team for soccer.
Football.
So, football. You know what I'm saying? So we playing Illinois, Iowa, and somebody else this weekend. So yeah, man.
That's good.
Yeah, man. Super blessed. August made 10 yesterday.
Oh, Tom said happy birthday. Wow.
Yeah.
You're gonna be empty nesting like me in a minute. Sooner than later.
In a long minute.
Yeah, that is 10. Yeah, that is but still, we're on our last leg in a couple of months.
This man, listen, y'all. Diallo is a liar.
What I lie about this time?
You an empty nester. You got a baby.
I will. That ain't my baby. You know, I plan on being an absentee grandparent, like an absentee father, single grandparent home. You know, I want to take brother black men to a next level.
We abandon it. We abandon it.
Easy to be an absent father. Let's see who can step up and be an absent grandfather. That ain't my baby.
That's your baby. I didn't baby.
But shout out to little busy Izzy. Anyway, it's wonderful that you mentioned Professor Griff. I almost said Grift. I ain't got no beef with Professor Grift, you know, but what I wanted to talk about today, and somebody alluded to it in the comments, that conspiracy theories, right?
Mm-hmm.
So since the release of the Epstein files, which I don't know why we're calling the Epstein files, they should be the Trump files or the Trump/Epstein files. I've been hearing a lot of people say that these conspiracy theories have been vindicated or proven right. And everybody's like, oh, QAnon was right. These conspiracy theories were right. And now we know that now you call people crazy. The people we call crazy, now we're showing. And I don't know. It's one of two things, right?
Right.
For one, these people didn't read what the conspiracy theories said. or they're falsely attributing things to the conspiracy theories that the conspiracy theories never said or stood for. Okay. Because it is the conspiracy theorists who brought us to this moment. They're part of the problem. Behold the pale horse, the unseen hand, the conspirators hierarchy. What's that one? Pawns in the game. All that. Alex Jones, Gary Null, Doctor. What's that? What's the guy that wrote Emerging Diseases? He used to run this media company called Tetrahedron. David Icke. And I was just looking at his book. All these people really brought all those popular conspiracy books and popular conspiracy theories, and the black people, Henry Ford, the international Jew, the Henry Ford, Minister Louis Farrakhan, who trafficked a lot of these right-wing white conspiracy theory ideas into the black community, or gave legitimacy. You know, y'all don't remember just a few years ago, Farrakhan went on InfoWars and was sitting there very comfortable across from that Caucasus Mountain cave dwelling devil, Alex Jones. And they were chatting it up like they was big homies because they traffic in the same ideas and outlooks. So it breaks my heart in a time where the elites are being exposed. And I don't know who this is new to, but I don't want to shame anybody. Not knowing is not a crime. And I don't want to tear anybody down. But if you standing there like the Pikachu meme, when you're hearing about these cabals of wealthy elites, and you're like, you're Pikachu meme, you need to get a late pass. And you know who said that, get a late pass? I got that from Professor Griff. The revolution been in effect. Go get a late pass. On their first album, Yo Bum Rush the Show song, get a late pass. So if this whole shit is brand new to you, if you go back and review the conspiracy, and the conspiracy theories date all the way back to the modern conspiracies, date all the way back to the 1920s. I think one of the earliest books that I've read from that era was Pawns in the Game. And that book was so old, it was using the N-word with hard ER. You know, that's how the book, and then that's Pawns in the Game and Conspiracies Hard, Dr. John Coleman. But I can't think of Dr. Leonard G. Horowitz. That's the name I could. Dr. Leonard G. Horowitz. I could sit here all night listening to these cast of characters that people are now saying have been vindicated by the exposure of the Epstein files. And what we're really finding out, if you really look at the nature of the information that's coming to light from the elites, Peter Thiel, what's that fool's name? Elon Musk, Donald Trump, these billionaire elite cabal people, is that all the shit that these conspiracy people told us was completely inaccurate. They were completely wrong. They were lying. And if they weren't lying, they were having fever dreams. Look at this. Here you go. David Icke was right. David Icke is the man that said that a reptilian, he's the one that popularized the myth that the royal family were reptilian human hybrids. And they had light speed conveyance. They had mastered light speed, and there was a rapid tunnel system between continents underground. And so people are like, oh, this person was right. This person was right. That person was right. And that's only if you only take bits and pieces of what they say, and you can extract truth from anywhere. If you're only willing to get bits and pieces of it. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. And give a brief review of what these conspiracy theories were actually saying and what they actually said in their damn books. I went looking for my books. You found them?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's what I thought. My wife said she was going to find my books. I think, man, all my conspiracy books are gone. I had all copies of all.
You at that table? You're not at your desk?
Huh?
You at the table, not your desk?
I'm at the table.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The desk is over there.
Yep.
But I couldn't find. I scanned the bookshelf. I couldn't find any of my copies of those books. Now that's a conspiracy.
Man, speaking of wild books, and I want us to get back to that, but I found a book I had been looking for probably 20 years.
Damn.
Found a copy. So right, like I think a couple things, right? I think one of the things that I think is that as a species, we are definitely prone to make up some shit. And I don't really understand why we make it up when there are other things to be focused on. Like I really don't understand that. The other thing that I think is really interesting about when you talk about Alex Jones, Farrakhan, Behold a Pale Horse, all those things that we've read, you would have read them in the early 90s. I would have read them in the late 90s and the early aughts. Is how people read those things, and that is the last thing that they read.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what just kind of brings me so much concern and so much pause. It's not like, yeah, I read Behold a Pale Horse. Like, who didn't? The problem becomes you didn't read nothing after Behold a Pale Horse. And you know, to get us maybe into another little thing, it's the same way with ADOS, right?
Mm-hmm.
I understand how a person ends up over there. What I don't understand is how you stay over there. Because if my ideas of destroying capitalism and seeing freedom emerge for poor people all over the globe are far-fetched and unrealistic, how in the hell is light travel under the ground and reptilians and what was our boy name? Malachi York.
Oh, like, yeah. The big like head scientist.
Yeah, like how is my idea unrealistic, but this isn't? And the other thing is it reminds me of that Yasin Bey when he was most deaf, saying, you know, like people really want to believe that the white man is God. Like, and as an atheist, there is no God for you. But for me, the idea that white people are just like these superhuman things that we could never overcome is just, that idea is not supported by anything in history.
Right. But you're so right about the fact. Let's say this, man. You hanging out. I don't know what y'all do in Mississippi. You out hunting squirrels and in the creeks. Right? And you there with your homies and y'all run into another group of guys that are hunting. And then y'all get into a conflict because there's a dead squirrel and you're arguing about who shot the squirrel and who should be able to take the squirrel home and make a hat. And so one guy steps out of the opposing group and bang, bang, bang. He two pieces you and knocks you out cold, right?
Okay.
And then you come home to your wife and kids and you were like, well, what happened? You would feel better to be able to say, man, there's this championship contender fighter that I got into it with. You know, the dude was 6'7", 380, solid muscle, trained athlete, MMA fighter, professional boxer. And me and him got into it. And, you know, I took an L, but it's all gravy. The reality is when you're getting your butt kicked, you'd like, if you have to acknowledge that you've taken a loss, you want to inflate those who gave you the loss. You want to build them up because the more powerful they are, the less the less damaging to your ego the loss is. So people want to believe that we are controlled by supervillains with supernatural power. They don't want to believe that we're controlled by petty bureaucrats, cowardly, manipulative, sneaky bureaucrats.
That if the average person caught walking alone, they would be fooled. And I can understand the argument that you're raising and be like, oh, but this is what I don't understand about it. If in this squirrel encounter that I got two-pieced and went down and nobody with me like helped, right? I just can't. I'm not gonna stay down. Like I have to get my lick back. And when we're talking about petty bureaucrats, all these people got names and addresses. And that's the part that is confusing to me.
But the reality is, you had every opportunity to avail yourself in that conflict. There were several opportunities to either avoid the conflict altogether or to come out on top of the conflict, but you did not want to exert yourself. The reality is, these people who rule us, and that's just where conspiracy theories, that's why they're so attractive. I am oppressed, or we're being taken advantage of. We got 1% of the global population controlling 90% of the wealth. And I don't care what kind of weapons 1% got. I don't care what kind of media 1% got. Now, for them to do that, we are all a bunch of fucking idiots, or they have some superpowers that we don't have access to. And which explanation salves our ego, especially for men? Which explanation makes us feel less like failures or less like weaklings? And so the reality is, in order to challenge the system, oh shit, I just saw something. I'm sorry, I told Erica something that wasn't true. So that's the main thing. And that, to me, that's the fuel for it. We could easily overthrow Bezos, Bill Gates.
Garvey said it would take 24 hours, and I do not have anything. But see, like, this what I'm saying, bro. Like, I hope you go call into the show tonight, A-Rob, especially if like you in Durham or whatever. These people do not have the ability to make me disappear. They can pay somebody that can make me disappear.
But they need other people, right?
Man, I will beat the dog shit out of Elon Musk.
Right.
When I tell you, man, listen, this is not what he wants. And on the list of tough guys, I ain't even in the first 1,000 pages. What I'm saying to y'all is, like, I've gotten into it with people that were pretending to be a thing that I know they weren't. And what I would always say is, you can go get somebody that can beat me, but you can't. And as soon as they finish, you better leave with them.
And the people they get to beat you are suffering from the same conditions you are. They're drawing the people to beat you from the same pool of population, the same demographic.
I don't even think I don't even think you remember this, but one of our first like real conversations, I was saying to you how I don't necessarily think your approach is as effective as it could be. And you told me something to the equivalent of, that's because you only know me in one space or something like that. And one of the things you told me was, I might not come at a person talking about capitalism or communism or anything else, but what I would say to them is, I believe it's far more impactful for us to find ways to collaborate instead of finding ways to compete.
Hmm.
And I don't think people understand that thing that they're trying to compete with. They're trying to teach us to compete with one another instead of finding a place where we agree and build from there and just kind of move around in that space. Because what they have really found out is something a former friend of mine said that is still one of the most profound things. People don't want parity. They want to be on the other side of disparity.
Hmm.
And the people that will come to Jeff Bezos's defense, being in the same situation as me, are somehow believing that by showing themselves to be worthy, Bezos is going to treat them differently. And I have no historical evidence whatsoever that is true.
Absolutely. I mean, just imagine orienting yourself to carry the favor of a psychopath or a demented pedophile.
Like, and even worse than those people, and they terrible. But even worse than those people is somebody that, one, never gets any benefit, two, never gets to experience any of the joy walking around defending them. Like for everybody that was on Epstein Island doing whatever those people did on that island, there was somebody that wanted to go, and you the real scumbag.
There's people that would go today.
I don't understand it.
There's people that would go today. Let me tell you something. I was just talking to Erica. And if Diddy got a pardon tomorrow and threw a white linen party in the Hamptons Sunday, you think he'd be sitting there by himself? So yeah, people get mad when they run afoul of the system. The moment the people are under, a lot of people, not everybody, but you know, it's kind of like, I think a lot of these elites who do face any level of consequences, they're genuinely surprised because people worship them so much that shit could fall down. I know if I saw a flyer for an R. Kelly concert downtown at the goddamn, what's that Blue Devil Theater downtown, I know damn well that shit would be sold out. The people don't stand on shit. You know, if you make enough money, you can be a black Nazi and people will still pay hundreds of dollars for your ugly shoes. We don't stand on business.
Hey, bro. And I just don't like, for everybody that defends. So I don't know if you know about this one, but like they was talking about what's buddy name, man? You know, the boy, anyhow, they celebrating Kanye, they celebrating R. Kelly, and they trying to act like
Cosby.
Bro, no matter how much I love Different World, keep him. I love A Different World.
I didn't like that show.
Yeah, I mean, because you a lame, Diallo, and you ain't raised right.
I was a contemporary. Listen, that's the whole theme of that show was to educate black people so that they can get away from other black people.
What's up, bro?
That was the whole theme of that show. There were two things. Number one, educate black people so they can get away from other black people. And number two, what was the other part?
Hey, man. Hey, look, bro. Miles Garbage just walked in this house and gonna say, I heard Diallo, so you gonna be in there yelling again? Like,
man, you better assert some alpha dominance over your household.
Yeah. I said hello. Yeah. Diallo said, what up, folks? But I just, like, bro, like, you just can't convince me that 12 play is worth girls being raped. You can't convince me that A Different World is worth girls being raped. You can't convince me, like, just none of this. I just don't know what is my, okay, here it is. I talk about this a lot. I don't understand how me, a person that believes collaboration is way more important than competition. I don't understand how I would get none of the benefit of these things and defend people that not only got to do the thing, but got to do the thing and got the money and got away with it. I don't get anything in that situation. So why am I invested in it? Like how do people that don't believe in socialism or any of the things that we believe in show themselves to be less socialist leaning than we are when it comes time to have those types of discussions, right? So we believe equality is the goal. Everybody should have something. Everybody should have enough, right? How is it we believe that and don't center? How is it that we believe that and these same people that don't believe that somehow believe that being loyal to a person with everything is going to get them something when it hasn't?
Well, that's where celebrities come in, though. Celebrity culture. And the capitalists understand how vulnerable they are because the true capitalists represent such a small percentage of the population that they understand they're extremely vulnerable. So they have to they either have to share their wealth or manipulate the masses into accepting having less. And they always go with manipulate the masses to accept as opposed to sharing their wealth. So, and many of us have accepted that. And let's say the indoctrination is intense and relentless. And I've said the history of the United States could be defined in one sentence, and that's a one-sided class war. So while farmers were fighting for justice and fighting for this, and when you look at all these movements and all these various groups fighting for various things, you find only isolated pockets where there's a group fighting to destroy the ruling class.
Mm.
You know, you have groups fighting for concessions from the ruling class. You have groups fighting to run away or isolate themselves from the ruling class, the Republic of New Africa, or repatriating back to Africa. You have people fighting to elevate the ruling class. You have people fighting to replace another group to be the servants, the direct servants and direct benefactors of. You have all these people, but there has been no struggle, wide sustained struggle for the obliteration of the elites.
Mm.
Even now in the modern times where we're so sophisticated and we have a century of struggle to look back on, and we're fighting to raise the minimum wage and fighting for universal health care. But in none of these major fights or announcements, even amongst the most radical, nobody says we have to obliterate the elite. Nobody. You find it?
No.
Oh, there are the plates that I told you I threw away on top of the. I was wrong as hell.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So I just saw him there.
Hey.
So, but I do want to talk about why the conspiracy theorists, all of them, were wrong as hell, and how they actually brought us to this moment. They caused the thing they were supposed to be enlightening us or teaching us about and fighting against. They actually brought about this current reality because of their insistence on pushing such severe misinformation on the few people who were wanted to be conscious enough to challenge or recognize the system is corrupt and illegitimate. What was that you put up? I missed.
Yeah, I was trying to start, but for some reason I can't start comments. But,
yes, you can.
No, I can't.
That's how you make them pop up. Just
yeah, but I can't start.
see,
I can put it on screen, but I can't
if
start.
you can do that, you can start.
Maybe I'm an idiot, bro. Like, I'm sorry.
No.
But this right here, I think that's the weird contradiction, A-Rod. And again, I really want you to call in. Like, propaganda is powerful, right? Like, I'm not saying propaganda is not powerful. Swear to God, I'm not. I'm not calling propaganda unimpactful. Not saying it. But what I am saying is, at what point do we look at it and just turn it into, hey man, like this don't really work like that. Like that's the part that I'm talking about, right? So people get where they are. I don't know how you, second person plural, can be like, okay, there's this wealthy cabal of pedophiles that are exchanging emails and everybody knows they exist and they're not doing anything. Well, they can't be stopped. I don't understand how we make that statement and act like how do we make the statement that this pedophile cabal is in control of everything and then act like they cannot be easily defeated except for our willingness and desire to participate in whatever they got going on?
And there's a concept that was brought about called the gilded cage. And there was a novel written, I think it was called The Dollhouse, in the Victorian era. And the concept of the gilded cage in the Victorian era that has been expanded. And the gilded cage is basically saying you live in an unjust social hierarchy. Mm-hmm. Your position in that hierarchy is more, your position within that unjust system is more comfortable than it would be if you otherwise resisted or broke out of it. So throughout this one-sided class war, certain concessions have been granted to the population, and the elites are always calculating how much homelessness, state-sanctioned violence, contamination of the soil, abuse of their children, atrocities, how much will the people take before they make the equation that resistance to the system will derive more benefit than submission? And how much will it take to maintain people pursuing individual desires and aspirations versus collective goals and liberation? And they're constantly testing this all over the world. They're constantly testing this. And so while we act as individuals out here trying to build a better life for ourselves, the elites are employing some of the most brilliant people in the world, like Noam Chomsky. The elites are employing some of the most brilliant people in the world to conceptualize this. While the black masses are talking about, we do too much talking, I ain't with all that talking, let's do actions. These people are engaged in literal social engineering. They're engaged in social engineering. There's this concept called dancing the slaves, where how much brutality and work versus how much relief and dancing and singing do you need to do to prevent a rebellion? So I could go 98% brutality and work you to death if I give you 2% of dancing and ritual and drums and singing. But if it's 100% work, you're going to rebel. But if it's 100, but if I give you 30% pleasure, when I put you back to work, you might start to see the pleasure as a right, something you are owed, something that belongs to you. So there's always this thing, if we give them too much, they might feel like they deserve it and they're entitled to it. And what more is there? If I give them too little, they're like, what have I got to lose? And you look at the Epstein files, everybody's looking at the pictures of little girls and the pictures of supposed dead bodies and stuff. But you see a lot of those pictures are scholars and legal, psychological, social engineers sitting in boardrooms and classrooms.
Yep.
Epstein spent as much time in university laboratories and lecture halls as he did in jacuzzis with underage girls. And we're going to look at the salacious, vicious, horrendous crime part. But many of us will overlook, like literally, he was on MIT campus donating money to MIT. And he had, like, in various laboratories, he donated so much money. And then what really blows my mind is a lot of their shit is published. B.F. Skinner, Edward Bernays, the manufacturing of consent. That's what it's all about. And that's why that's how they're at war and we're at work. Work to see, well, I want to do work and I want my work conditions to be acceptable. I want my compensation to be acceptable. And I want the level of relief I get to be acceptable. And once I reach that limit, I will start voting against the people under me. And I'll start identifying with the elites, people on welfare, these immigrants, these transgenders, because I got a decent job, I got a decent house, I got me a good woman, I got me a car, I'm making my car payments on time, and I got to go to Greece 3 years ago on vacation. And for that, I'll sell out the rest of humanity.
To go to Greece.
Gilded cage. While the elites are saying it's not enough to have all the money, all the pleasure, all the power. They're real goals, because I know a few black folks who want to be rich. I got cousins and relatives that are like, yo, I'm going to get a particular job in a particular industry. I'm going to develop a particular skill. I'm going to make a particular investment. I'm going to get this money. And I'm like, and then what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with it? What does Bill Gates do with his money? And they love showing us Jeff Bezos bought a new yacht or a new house or had this extravagant wedding. That's just a fraction. They don't ever pay attention to the research they fund. They never pay attention to the research that they fund. Because to them, it gets boring after a while of buying a boat. I want to dictate the ocean currents. I want to dictate how the ocean currents flow.
I want to go barely into space because you can't.
Right. I want to colonize Mars. I want to mine asteroids. And then, and it's not even about money. They print the money. Money at that level is a pure abstraction. It's not a realistic thing. It's thinking about money and woes. Once you're a billionaire, I don't think we really conceptualize what it is. It's like, it's really hard for us to conceptualize the universe and its vastness, or conceptualize time when you go past the certain, once you get past your great grandma and auntie and them to the Mesozoic and Jurassic era of the Earth's timeline, it all matches together. We can't tell the difference between 1,000 years or 1,000,000,000 years. It's all kind of just back then. So these vast things we can't conceptualize, even though these great vast piles of wealth are dictating the most minute interactions we have in our lives. They dictate the quality of our relationships with our children. They dictate the quality of breast milk that mothers have to feed their babies and how much contaminants will be in their breast milk. So these inconceptually large sums of money are affecting fetuses in the womb.
And for what? Another dollar that they'll never be able to spend.
Never spend. And that is the psychopathy. That is that for 1,200 years, give or take, depending on how far you want to go back. But for 1,200 years, the world order has incentivized what they call, I'll call it the century of the self. This economy and political structure that we live in, from monarchy to Western democracy, from mercantilism to capitalism, has incentivized psychopaths. If you lack the capacity for empathy, if you're able to operate in the world with total disregard for the well-beings of the other creatures, human or non-human living systems and beings, if you're able to navigate the world without any concern, without no shame, then you have the potential to amass incalculable wealth. If you do have the burden of empathy, then you will be greatly hampered in how much you can earn and how much power you can exert in this society. This society incentivizes sociopathy, and after generations and generations and generations of doing that, you're going to create greater and greater sociopaths and psychopaths, because human culture reproduces what it incentivizes. We keep making great basketball players because that is the arena which we were able to act without fear of retribution. The same thing we were celebrated for, all the things we were celebrated for in slavery are things we excel at in freedom right now today. Physical prowess, entertainment.
And hey Rob, I don't believe that they cannot be defeated. Like, of course we know that like it's a
Where that comment at? I missed that one. Put it up.
He was. I mean, like I think he was being fair because I don't think I'm being very clear. But he was saying that he was confused if I believed that there was a pedophile cabal, if I believed that existed, or if I didn't, or if I believed that it did exist, but it could be defeated.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the whole concept of it is just all very weird to me because I just don't understand why. Okay, here it is. I think I got a little bit more clarity right now. What I don't understand is what a person has going on that they can incentivize me to go to a child rape party. And I would be like, well, I gotta go. Well, if you don't go, we gonna call you a lame. Well, I just be a lame. Well, if you don't go, you ain't gonna be able to drive a Suburban. Well, I'm good without a Suburban. Everybody gonna laugh at you in the hall. Like, what is the thing? I get to determine what I like and what I dislike. I do. As a person, I decide what I like and what I don't like. In making that decision, Diallo doesn't have anything to offer me if it's like, hey man, if you don't do whatever this thing is, you won't get to do that. There isn't anything that Diallo could offer me that will make me think going to a child rape party is the thing to do.
Right, but here's the thing about that. A lot of that is though, because you might think, damn, why are they trying to get me to do that? It's an initiation ritual. Because if you can go in this room and do this to a child, if you can rape the child, then you have what it takes to rape the planet. We have to do a measure of the man. Why, if you want to join a gang, why do they jump in their members? Why are members jumped into gangs? What are they trying to find out? What are they trying to discover? Huh? No.
Yeah, if you tough enough to fight back,
you can get your ass kicked. Right. It's not if you can fight back, it's whether or not you could take an ass whooping, not give one. It's more important to know whether you or not you are willing to take a beating versus give one. If I want to join a fraternity, I gotta eat raw eggs and run around campus in a diaper at 2 a.m. in freezing cold with nothing on but a diaper? Why do I have to go through these rituals? So those type of rituals are not so much the act unto themselves, but what the acts communicate about you. Mm. And what it tells the people who establish the rituals what they can expect from you. And thus, when they find out what they're able to expect from you, they know what they are willing to give to you. And it's not even anything that's supernatural, because we see all kind of, I can demonstrate how smart I am, or I can demonstrate my mastery of a topic without having to write it down with 1-inch borders, indenting every paragraph, citation, notation, all the but they make you articulate your thoughts in an academic way, because a lot of really brilliant people can't get through college because they do not know how to write in an APA style paper. Mm-hmm. And somebody who's not very smart but knows how to adhere to the pattern or the requirements of APA style can get a degree
Mm-hmm.
and not even understand the topic that they went to school to get a degree in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was helping a young man study he had just went through 2 years of school and he wanted to be a radiographer. And he said, I'm about to take the certification exam, the national certification exam, and you took it and passed it. So would you study with me? So I'm like, sure,
Mm-hmm.
helping the young brother get into the field. He came to the house for 2 years. And I asked him, what is radiation? He didn't know the definition of radiation and was going to be a radiologic tech and go to work every day and expose the public to ionizing radiation, and did not have a definition in his own head of what radiation was. He knew how to generate radiation using an anode and a cathode. He knew how to position anatomy. He knew all this shit, but didn't have a definition.
Mm.
So in academia, or whether you go to get a degree or you go to Epstein's island, you are there to demonstrate to the people with authority and power that I have the capacity to do this. Number one, I have the capacity to follow the rules that have been laid out before me. And I have a willingness to. Capacity and will, not just either or, because one or the other aren't enough. So, but anyway, these conspiracy people were wrong about just about everything. And if we go back and review the conspiracy people, and I'll just go over this really quick and we can open up.
Okay.
Remember, they said that the communists were taking over. Remember? They said the communists were coming. Go back and read. The conspirator hierarchy said Jewish communist. And we're going to come and take away and overthrow the Western democracy. And a lot of these people who wrote these books were what it's called Cold Warriors. They fought the Cold War, right? Mm-hmm. They said that these organizations were satanic, right? They said that they wanted to form a one world government. Mm-hmm. The New World Order was a one world government and a one world currency. And they wanted to move us away from gold, and they wanted to move us away from silver and have first a fiat currency, and then go from a fiat currency to credit and then move on to a cashless society. Mm-hmm. Sort of like the mark of the beast. So you won't buy and trade things with gold or silver or even cash, but through your submission to the dominant power will demonstrate your worthiness, right? Monetary manipulation, the elders of Zion. Now, everything, if you look at the core of everything these conspiracy theories wrote across hundreds of books, dozens, if not hundreds of these various conspiracy, including Professor Griff, we now see that the dominant force is Christian, capitalist, libertarian, and they don't want a one world government. They are isolationist, which was like Trump and Epstein. Israel is an isolationist. It's an expansionist at the same time. That's why we're confused, because how can a nation try to expand its territory and at the same time be isolationist? Because they only allow certain people in. So they want your land, but they don't want you. Mm-hmm. And so the power, the sinister rulers of the world that take away human freedom, they're literally the absolute opposite of what the popular conspiracy theorists told us they would be. And everything. So many generations, from Farrakhan to Alex Jones and all these other characters, were telling us to look over there when the threat was coming from over there. We were looking for satanic, godless communists, and Christian theocrat capitalist libertarians are the ones doing everything that the godless communists were supposed to be doing.
What they say, the cow is covered from inside the house.
Using children in cannibalism, huh?
The call is coming from inside the house.
Exactly. What they say, upwards of almost like 86 to 87% of Christian evangelicals supported Trump and the MAGA movement. And the New World Order said that these people were going to take away God. And they were going to take away people's capacity to accept Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior. So people are like, now, the conspiracy theorists said that there is a secret underground cabal of elites who are controlling the world and doing evil things. That part they were right about. But when they told us about the characteristics of these people, the protocols of the learned elders, the Zionists, all of the characteristics that they described were the opposite of what has come to pass. Almost the mirror image of what they told us to fear.
Yep.
And that's why Alex Jones is defending in full support of the pedophile cabal. Remember?
Yep.
The pedophiles and that. He's on Trump's side and defending Trump.
The reptilian overlords.
And all of these right-wing, and they were racist, they were right-wing, they were ultra-conservative. They said the liberals were supposed to, the liberal are out of power. The leftists are out of power. All over the world, right-wing uprising. And where are the communists? They said the communists were coming to take our freedoms and take away our way of life.
The Democrats coming to take our guns.
Right. And guns, we got more guns in the streets, more liberal guns, and everything they said. They want to take our guns so they can take our freedom. And now civilian white people are using their Second Amendment right to defend the property of a billionaire, Elon Musk, a pedophile billionaire. They're standing outside of Tesla dealerships with their guns when they were supposed to be defending liberty and water the tree of liberty with the blood of tyrants. They are watering the tree of oppression with the blood of working class nurses. Of emergency room and ICU and mothers after dropping off. So almost everything, no, I didn't say, Farrakhan didn't say anything about I'd have to review that, but the dominant conspiracy theories, the Nation of Islam, if you go to any of their associated bookstores and stuff, they were big proponents of the International Jew and the protocols of the learned elders of Zion, the hidden hand. The Nation of Islam marketed heavily in these right-wing conspiracies.
Yep.
And the books that they sold at the NOI bookstore were anti-communist. Come on now. They love, but you can give them a pass if you want.
Yeah.
I guess we got our first caller.
Esme.
Hello.
Peace.
Hello.
Hi. I wanted to say, I don't know if you did more digging, if you saw Epstein also had a hand in a lot of conflicts in the African continent. He was like behind the weapons dealing, um, which I think is kind of insane that nobody's talking about, how they're literally manufacturing instability and violence to get it to get away with resource extraction. And I think it's similar to what's going on in Haiti as well, and other places around the world. These people are in charge of.
And you're absolutely right. That is well known. Even that was going on before Epstein was born, and it's continuing to this day. John Perkins, Epstein was an economic hitman. If you go and look at John Perkins' book, Confessions of an Economic Hitman, and these economic hitmen are successful men who, even though they work in private industry, they have the cover of and the support of governments and government agencies. So this public-private partnership, they go there as though they're going there for investment and entrepreneurial opportunities, or go there for benevolent charity work and other philanthropic efforts. And they're there when that's the way to get in. And then, so yes, he was definitely fits the definition of an economic hitman. And he was a Zionist. And if you know anything about Zionists, Zionist has been one of the greatest allies of the colonizers. The reason why it took so long for the boycott against South Africa, apartheid, took so long to actually win is because Israel never accepted the boycott, and Israel was funneling weapons and other resources because the United States had accepted the boycott, and so Israel was a middleman. And then you have even Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela was captured by the apartheid forces using intelligence and surveillance given to them by the Mossad, the Israeli Mossad, which is the Israel's version of the CIA. So yes, the Zionists have been on the African continent since their founding, and going all the way back to the earliest days of Zionists. Two of the Zionist projects, they wanted to go to Madagascar, and they wanted to colonize Madagascar and put Israel in Madagascar. And I think Rhodesia was it one. They were asking, I think Rhodesia for territory, or Namibia, one of those. So they even to the Zionist project was so aligned with European colonialism that they even wanted to negotiate some African territory to set up the state of Israel before they settled on Palestine. Yeah, I think it was either Uganda and Madagascar. Thank you.
Yeah, it was all over the place because they also was like, hey, well, maybe they could go to upstate New York.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah,
Like,
so you're absolutely right. And it goes even deeper. It's much bigger than Epstein. And it continues on after Epstein's passing.
yep.
That's so true. And I also found out a while ago that I don't know if you guys know Eric Prince.
Mm-hmm.
He's like
BlackRock and what's that?
the mercenary group.
Yeah,
Yep.
the private army, and he's a Christian. He's a fundamentalist Christian.
Something
You know,
like he was in an interview with this I'm assuming he was like a white Christian guy. But he was saying how we as in the US need to recolonize
yeah,
Africa. And so he's in Haiti right now. He has a 10-year contract
yeah.
in Haiti. And so I definitely think I mean obviously I don't think I'm ever gonna get evidence or like the US or anyone to admit it, but I do think they're behind a lot of the gang violence that we're seeing. There was a story of four Haitian women who were found decapitated and their bodies thrown in the river on
And that's the
the
Dominican Republic. Yes,
yeah.
those women were detained by ICE in Puerto Rico, and because Puerto Rico is U.S. territory, they were deported from Puerto Rico to the Dominican Republic. And the Dominican Republic, a lot of people y'all think are our brown allies, has a long-standing history of lynching, kidnapping, enslaving, and assaulting Haitian migrants. Because Haiti and Dominican Republic, they don't share the island, but you can call it sharing. But yes,
Yeah.
Dominicans.
They're claiming like a Haitian man did it, but the reason why I brought it up with Eric Prince is he's actually in charge of the border. Like that's a part of his
Yeah,
contract.
yeah,
So this happened under his group's watch.
yeah.
So
And
that's why I
go
just
back
don't
and look at.
believe.
Hmm.
You can go.
No, go look at the siege of Fallujah. Go back and look at the siege of Fallujah. Eric Prince and his mercenary army was also in charge of the siege of Fallujah, and the decapitations and the mutilation of corpses are
I'm
almost
just
identical to what
frustrated
happened to those
because
Haitian women.
I'm just frustrated because every single time I go and read like Western media, it's always gangs, 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 gangs. There's nothing
So,
like,
Esme, can I ask you a question?
yeah.
Why do you keep reading
It's not. Unfortunately, I follow also a lot of Haitian outlets,
it?
Haitian
Okay.
American outlets as well, and they're reporting the same thing too. It's kind of like, um, I mean, I try to get sources like Black Agenda Report, Black Alliance for Peace. There's a lot of Haiti Liberté. There are a lot of independent groups, but they don't really tackle what is going on with the gangs either. I think there's a lot of, like, there's an information warfare, um, and a lot of things that are just, people are just not being open and honest about what's going on in Haiti. And I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of the Western sources, they're getting stuff from the State Department, from, American officials. So that's what they're like repeating, like from the officials that are there. But it's just frustrating to see the lack of, like, wanting to know, like, nuance, like, who are these people actually? What do they want? You know, yeah.
Okay. I just I don't know.
No,
Thank you
you
for
you
calling.
make a good point.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Like, cause
sorry.
it. Yeah. Like I don't do the hate following, the hate watching. Like if a if attention is currency in this day and age, then I'm going to be as I'm not. I don't believe in handouts. I am a Republican. That we know. I am a Democrat when it comes to giving people my attention and time. I'm not giving them
It's just,
anything.
unfortunately,
If you
they
want my
just have a
attention, pull yourself up
stronghold.
by your bootstraps.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. It's just like they just have a stronghold when it
Yeah.
comes to news. And I actually was trying to figure, like, I was talking to my dad, and turns out he actually fought in the Haitian military.
Hmm.
And he was there, he helped overthrow Aristide.
Oh wow.
Um yeah, but I asked him questions, and he was totally like misled. Like, and they got him like when he was like 18 or something. They just randomly, and then they spread fake news about Aristide killing journal. It was just, and I find out, like, I'm doing research as he's talking to me, and I found out there was like a CIA operation that, like, was just spreading fake news about Aristide, and like
But can I tell you something? He was not misled.
Yeah, that's what he wanted to do,
Aristide was the
and he may
leader.
think differently now.
Aristide was the leader of the Lava Las movement. Aristide was not just an individual; he was a lead, and he was a man of God. He was a man of the cloth before he got into politics, and they had been on the ground. It was really a grassroots, bloodless coup d'état or bloodless revolution. There's no way you can know anything about Haiti and think that Aristide was anything other than a somewhat naive but a truly benevolent leader. And the theme of Aristide was that his goal was to lift his people up to poverty. He said, what Haitians endure can't even be defined as poverty. It's utter
yeah,
destitution. And so before we can even bring prosperity to the island, we
yeah.
need to bring poverty to the island and bring the people up to poverty. And it was very transparent. It was democratic. He was democratically elected. It was not any election fraud. I just have to say, there's no way. It's just the people paying to overthrow that man were paying a lot more than the people that were able to pay to keep him in power.
Amen.
Yeah.
There's no way anybody, 18-year-olds or otherwise, because I was pretty young during that time when the Clintons, y'all beloved Bill and Hillary, went in and destabilized and kidnapped the president of Haiti. That's why when people are like, oh, Trump kidnapped the president. You know how many heads of states have been kidnapped and brought to the United States in my lifetime, just in my lifetime.
All right, ask
And
me. Thank you.
but anyway, yeah.
Can I just
I
say one last thing?
tell your
Make
father
it quick,
I
cause A
call
Rob been
Cap.
on hold for like 45
Okay,
days.
okay. I will say
Diallo called Cap on his being misguided. He knew what he was doing.
there was an actual CIA operation with like fake news that I discovered.
Mhm.
And I think sorry, I think what I didn't find out until I did the research is they didn't just kidnap Aristide, they subsequently killed a lot of the people
Of course.
in the government for Aristide or his supporters as well. But okay,
Yes, but
I'll
that's
leave
the same
now.
thing they did with Maduro. They killed over 100 people when they went to kidnap Maduro. They killed hundreds of people, and all we know is, oh, they just went and kidnapped the president. They didn't. They committed a mass slaughter in the process of kidnapping him.
Yeah,
They
people
were
from
walking over
Cuba.
corpses when they
People
were
from
bringing that
Cuba.
man to the plane.
There were Cubans that knew about the attack that were there to defend that died as well. So yeah.
Yeah, over 100 people just slaughtered wholesale.
What up, A Rob? Yo.
She said you've been misgendering her all night.
Oh, hey, peace.
It's all good. I know it's hard to tell by the name, so.
What's up?
But yeah, I think as I listened longer, Diallo, you pretty much said what I was gonna say, which is that the basis of the conspiracy theory was correct. It's just the people that it was in reference to was wrong.
But here's the thing. I'm gonna tell you what Kwame
Hold
Ture.
on, Diallo. Hey, Rob, you believe that
You're on mute, I think, Skip.
Oh, no, I'm not on mute.
Oh, I don't hear Skip.
That's crazy because you ignore me. That's crazy. You came on here to be like, shut up. That's what you did?
I can hear you, Diallo. I can't hear Skip.
Okay, well, I'll be quiet.
Shall I translate for you, Skip?
Nah, she don't want to talk to me. So go ahead.
No, I can say if she can hear me and can't hear you,
I can hear you fine. I can't hear anything he's saying.
I'll use your southern drawl. What, Skip? Let me not. Anyway, listen, I gotta tell you this, hey Rob, when you want to give these motherfuckers credit. Kwame Ture
I don't want to say give him credit. What I'm saying is
half right. You just said they was half right.
The basis. So, for instance,
no, the basis. No. Let me tell you something.
Let me articulate my point. It's hard to articulate a point in the comments. So, for instance, there's talk that Epstein helped fund and support 4chan, right? Which is how a lot of discourse around a lot of social issues spread through these messaging boards, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there are messages between him and people about transgenderism, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what they have done is take their fetishes, their corrupt fetishes, deviant fetishes, and now have twisted legitimate transgender identity and made it into something else while scapegoating actual transgender people as a psyop operation. So it's not that there is a transgender agenda. There is an agenda by deviant people with power and influence to take these social cultural issues and divert attention to these social issues away from all these other things. So it's not that's not happening. It's just that the wrong people are manufacturing it, and those people don't know that.
Right. Well, that's another thing, but that's somewhat. I want to go back to your initial point. To what you just said does not detract or even add to your initial point. So yes, there is a transgender agenda, and the transgender agenda is for the right-wing fascists to scapegoat transgender people.
Exactly.
But the first thing you said when you came on was that I said half of what they said was true. So the basis of what they said was true, but you said the basis of what those what they call them, of the conspiracy theorists was true, right?
Yeah, like about the elite
Right.
pedophile
But then you
rings.
went to talk about the transgender, which kind of shows, as Kwame Ture said, a half truth is more dangerous than a full lie. A half truth is more dangerous than a full lie. And the conspiracy theorists did not bring about any truth. The first thing they did was validate people's reality. So if you look at when the conspiracy theory books became popular, really, theories go back all the way to the monarchical England. You ever heard of the blood libel? When incompetent monarchs would mismanage their government and then say, oh, it's the Jewish merchants who are kidnapping your babies and stole all the money. That's been going on. That's white folks' business, which is why I don't like when black people get caught up in anti-Semitism, because that's the whitest shit you can do, because white folks been, but anyway, so people knew that the world was unjust. The world has been invaded and colonized by alien culture, and all of humanity is doing all this work, and only a number of very select people are deriving any benefit from that. Everybody already knew that. So when the conspiracy theories came out and said the world is under an oppressive cloud, people already knew that. So and people were like, yeah, that's right. I'm being taken advantage of. Stuff ain't right. My land's been invaded. My crops aren't come through. And so then they said there's a supernatural, demonic, Masonic force. They didn't say it was the capitalists. They didn't say it was the monarchs. They didn't say it was the elites. But the communists and the anarchists at the time was saying these are the specific people harming you. And then the conspiracy theorists said, no, the communists and the anarchists are the ones harming you. And they're using bohemian rituals and Masonic hand gestures to control you. So they didn't come with half of a fact. They simply acknowledge what people, it's like a pimp would do if he's trying to recruit a new woman into his stable. You got to come to her and lay the groundwork. Baby, I know you're struggling. Baby, I know it's hard out here. Baby, I know you're alone and afraid, baby. And now I can fix it. I can give you something. And then you start the lie. So you can sell the lie better when you have the foundation of truth that you're building on and the person that you're talking to. Or if I want to recruit you into my cult, I'll come to you and be like, yeah, have you ever felt special? You ever felt like people don't understand you? Yeah, I do feel like, my mama, she don't know, she complained about my hair, my tattoo. Well, I do understand you. And really, right. There's a divine order to the world. So it's an old tactic, but I don't want to give these conspiracy theories any respect or any credit, because they are a big part of bringing us to the current state of the world. They didn't help us at all to understand the state of the world or prevent the state of the world.
Well, I think also part of the disconnect is also we're not defining which specific conspiracy theories that we're referring to.
Bring me one.
So, for instance, from reading those documents, one could reasonably conclude there's something about the Pizzagate situation.
No, see, boom. Listen to this. Yeah,
not about a pizza place.
Listen to me. When you go to all of the international bodies, every single one of them, you go to every international body that has a validated and consistent track record of monitoring and rescuing trafficked children, down to the last one, the international agencies that deal with rescuing and preventing the trafficking of children. Every single one of them said that the Pizzagate conspiracy has disrupted their efforts and detracted from their efforts to protect and rescue children.
You're not allowing me to articulate
no, let me finish. So Pizzagate actually facilitated, because if I want to abuse and traffic children, and I tell you there's a pizza parlor in Washington, D.C. and a basement, and then you put all your energy over there, look over there, make a noise in the east and attack in the west. There's no legitimacy to that conspiracy theory, and it detracted from legitimate efforts. It took time, energy, resources, and attention from legitimate efforts. And every single heroic person that works in the rescue and protection of children, every single one of them denounced. Not one of them said, oh, this helped us in any way. Pizzagate didn't rescue one damn child, but one thing Pizzagate did do.
That's not what I'm implying. What I'm telling you.
QAnon helped put a demented pedophile back in the White House. Come on. What
I am telling you is that in the documents, pizza is used as a code word. I am not validating the pizza place being a trafficking site. If you look on the DOJ websites, pizza is a code word used by pedophiles anyway. And I am saying that it's in
every single federal website under the Trump administration, every single, from the CDC, I used to go to the CDC website all the time, and the various .gov websites for information prep for my shows. They're worthless at this point. So you said Pizzagate, and name an incarcerated, prosecuted, or indicted pedophile who was apprehended through the deciphering or breakdown of these pizza codes. Name one.
They're the ones that are being brought out now.
Just say I can't. Just say that.
This is what
you are unfair to people who try to have dialogue with you. You're not. I'm the worst. I'm not a. Anybody who knows me can tell you that I'm not like a loony person that's just making things up.
I didn't say you were. And because if I thought you were a loony person who was making things up, I wouldn't ask you to attempt to validate your assertions.
I don't understand.
What I'm trying to say to you is that those people were used as a psyop by the people who were actually doing those things. So what I'm saying is that these people didn't just make these things up; they were actually happening.
What people specifically are we talking about?
Like the quote conspiracy theorists, like the QAnon people. It's not like the things were
the QAnon people, the QAnon movement that claims it was trying to hunt down pedophiles. Their only accomplishment was validating and re-electing a literal demented pedophile back into the White House.
That is my point, that they were redirected through a psyop, through this other thing that Epstein was doing.
Before that? Okay, if I'm redirected, where were they before they got redirected? What direction were they going? What were they redirected away from?
I'm telling you that these people were encouraged to do this. I'm telling you these people were encouraged to
no, you said they were redirected. The only way to redirect someone is that they were traveling in a different direction. What were they focusing on before Pizzagate? Because I got redirected to veganism. What was I doing before that? I was eating swine, eating hog mugs and chitlins. And then I got redirected to becoming a vegan. So you're saying people got redirected by QAnon. From what? Because the birth of QAnon is a byproduct of the MAGA music, which is a byproduct of the Tea Party, which was a byproduct of the birther movement, which was a byproduct of the Tea Party, which was a byproduct of the Koch brothers propaganda, their Randian libertarian philosophy, and these astroturf ultra conservatism, going back to Reaganism and going back all the way to Wilsonian Woodrow Wilson administration, and the reassertion of white nationalist identity. So there is a consistent timeline of the white majority in America adopting these witch hunts, the satanic panic, the trans panic, pedophile panic, and these white persecutors who claim that they are the victim of some vast conspiracy. It has been well recorded. They were not Pizzagate was not a redirection. It was a rebranding and a continuation of the same nonsense of trying to maintain the white majority acting and voting against their working class interests to sustain their racial domination.
Yes, that may be true. All I am saying is that these message boards were weaponized. The manosphere was funded. These red pill podcasts were used to help further these conversations. That's all I'm saying.
I agree with you.
That was the basis
there was some level
of my point.
Truth embedded in that BS. I thought you said that there was some level of truth and the people were on their way to truth, but they got redirected.
No, I was arguing that the things were happening. It's just that the people who kind of planted the ideas and started using these message boards were pointing the finger in the wrong direction. That's what I'm saying.
Can I tell you a secret though? White folks were racist before the internet. White folks were scapegoating queer and minorities and immigrants long before the internet and the first personal computer existed.
Well, yes, as a queer person, I know that, Diala. You don't.
So yes, I agree with that. But when you say that, when you're talking about them being redirected from something, so we can sit here and state what we agree on, but I was trying to resolve where we disagree. Because yes, everything is weaponized in the service of capitalism and white hegemony. I agree with you. You're absolutely right. But you were also suggesting that there might be some level of truth, or maybe these people were headed towards or justice minded and they got redirected, or that the conspiracy theories have a grain or a root of truth to them and somehow it got corrupted. None of those things were correct. That's
what I heard too. So, but she can't hear me, so.
Sorry, I can't.
Thank you for calling.
Sorry, Skip. I still can't hear you.
It's all right.
She muted you.
Yep. I promise I didn't. I don't even see where I could do that. But thank y'all.
Thank you too. I appreciate your input.
Mark.
Hey y'all, what's up? How y'all doing?
I'm pretty good, well, man. How about you?
I'm good. Just chilling here in Chicago, chilling. Hey,
you're not chilling in Chicago, bro. You cold.
It's warmed up here.
Yeah, it's what? The temperature done dropped, so it's a little warmer.
So what's the temperature now?
I don't know, maybe 19, 20.
Yeah, that's cold, degrees. Bro. That's cold
for you, because you down south.
It was like it got up to like 47 degrees today, man. It was really nice.
Yeah, cold.
That's because you from down south, so y'all can't take the cold. Cold for y'all is what we talking about now.
No, that's what's cold to God.
To God.
Yeah. If God walked outside on 47 degrees, he'd be like, "Woo! It's brisk."
I mean, kill all the humans.
Hey, let me ask y'all something. Do y'all still listen to R. Kelly?
No.
Do y'all still listen? No.
And it's not because I'm heroic. I'm not an R&B dude. I'm a little too hard and gruff for R&B. So
boy, let me tell you something. If I was lucky enough to get a girl on the phone, 12 Play was playing. So I'm not gonna even say I don't like R. Kelly. All I'm gonna say is, hey bro, bump and grind is not better than A Woman's Innocence.
Oh.
Never listened to him. Never a fan.
Who sings that? A Woman's Innocence.
I'm talking about a literal human being not being raped.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, the reason why I asked y'all that is because how do y'all feel about Noam Chomsky now? I mean, does all of his work that he contributed to the thought does that get discarded now?
I don't agree. I don't. I mean, I think, 90% of the time I'm on the air, I'm quoting Noam Chomsky.
Yeah. I also say this. Noam Chomsky, a wild boy. And I would look at his scholarly pursuits and what he is talking about as more important to life than I believe I can fly.
Well, I mean, it's very similar though. I mean,
It's not.
You don't think it's similar?
Okay. This is what I want you to think about. What is more important to you? The number of girls that I talked to on the phone between 1993 and 1998, or being able to clearly articulate what some of the issues are facing poor and working class people in this lived experience?
Well, you know the answer to that. Of course, Noam Chomsky's contribution is more important. But
okay, go ahead.
But how do you separate the two though? Like, can you do that? How do you? It's like Michael Jackson. Like, I grew up listening to Michael Jackson.
Mark, can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
So let me tell you one of the things I've learned from Noam Chomsky, right? Noam Chomsky wrote that within a capitalist economy, the health of the economy has no direct correlation with the health of the society. And under a capitalist economic system, you can have growth and advancement while the society itself begins to decay and the citizens wallow in poverty, right? That is an understanding I learned way back 30 years ago from reading Chomsky's work. Now that he has been greatly compromised, what should I do with that conclusion that has been in my head that I've quoted several times?
I'm going to tell you what you should do with it. You should take that conclusion, put it in a nice outfit, and step in the name of love.
and ride off to the sunset with it. I get it.
That's all I'm saying. I think.
But if you're saying, well, Chomsky is compromised, which I agree. Yeah, I think Chomsky was compromised long before he was outed for being associated with
pedophiles.
Epstein. What, do you think the elites put him? Do you think the elites put him there on purpose to kind of mislead the masses?
I don't think it's that simple. Again, I think we kind of get into the comic book villainy of things. Chomsky was a scholar who rose to a certain level of fame and recognition, and that allowed him to move in certain circles in academia. And there's a lot of cross-pollination, and Epstein was a big funder of academia. And to be honest, academics, I say all the time, which nobody seems to want to accept this, that revolution is an intellectual endeavor. And every single oppressive system has attempted to co-opt, control, or suppress scholars because they are a bigger threat than the people in the streets, the masses in the streets with the guns. So I am not surprised or disappointed. I never saw Chomsky as a moral leader, as a tactician, because a lot of the tactics and remedies he advocated for were inadequate, if not backwards. But his analysis in the relations of power and hierarchy and the techniques and strategies of power and control, his analysis are on point. But I wouldn't emulate. He was not anybody I would ever emulate. And like I said, even before that, a lot of things and a lot of conclusions he wrote decades ago, like back in the 80s. He wrote an introduction to a book written by a Nazi. You know, he did a lot of like suspect shit, but that's fine because he's not a personal hero of mine. He's a scholar whose work I'm very familiar with and analysis that is very comprehensive and validated. But anything he says, I don't just take it at his word. I have to cross-reference and correlate what he says, and it just holds up. But to me, scholarship and entertainment, like I can hear a song I really like from an artist that I don't like and be like, I'm not listening to that artist. I'm not wearing Yeezys and I don't listen to Yeezy's music. But if in Yeezy's music, he had asserted something that was accurate or profound or worth, you know, bringing into my own understanding, I wouldn't forget that even if I'm not listening to his music.
Mm. Well, I just wanted to know, you know, what you guys thought about that. You know, I agree with y'all. I don't, you know what I'm saying, I wouldn't just discard everything that he's contributed. You know, I wouldn't do that. But it was just very similar though, because you know, I grew up listening to R. Kelly too and listening to his music, but now I don't, you know, it's like it's kind of like it's been a, you know, a dimmer on his music, and I don't, you know, I don't really listen to it like that no more. So I don't know.
You know, one of my favorite rappers from childhood is KRS-One, and my favorite group is Boogie Down Productions. And when his own mentor was found to be a predator, a sex pest, and he said he didn't give a F. If you don't support Africa Bambaataa, then you should stop listening to hip hop. You know, that really, I was caught off guard.
Yeah, that bothered me too. It did.
And I haven't stopped listening to my KRS-One CDs. Yes, I still have CDs and albums and cassettes.
Oh, you tripping.
Yeah.
You tripping.
And, but when he came here to perform in Chicago, I didn't go see him. Where
really?
Otherwise I would have went to see him. So sometimes
you didn't go see him because of that incident?
Because I've taken a upon myself to you know, step back from my active support, my ongoing support of KRS-One, because he was given more than one opportunity to clarify what he meant by his ongoing support for Bambaataa. You know, and as a person personally, dudes I grew up with, literally, an individual who saved my life was charged with a crime of abuse, of essaying someone. And it was a childhood friend, and I don't deal with them anymore. And so not only do you still continue to deal with this person, but on a global stage, you support them and back them up. I just can't. And so, yeah, I didn't go see him, but I'll listen to his music. So everybody has their limits.
And I'm not listening to his music. I'm not hanging out with him. And I don't understand what the appeal is. Not like, okay. Diallo discussing like some of the conclusions that he has drawn because of Chomsky. Yeah, like I'm in the same boat. And principles come before personalities. And I just don't understand the inability to be principled. Because we not asking you use second person plural. We're not asking you to give up music. We're just saying don't listen to a dude that hurts girls.
I mean, it shouldn't be that hard. Like, even though he's not.
You know what though? You know what? Like, I grew up listening to these guys too. Like KRS-One was my hero as well. I remember rushing home to tear open this cassette and listen to it. Like, the thought in my mind of all this other stuff it gets a little difficult because something like that never even crossed my mind that can even be possible. Like, I don't know, man. It's just weird. It's very weird. I don't know.
Yeah, like if Chomsky was still active and went on a lecture tour, I wouldn't go see his ass.
Nope.
I wouldn't go.
If he was to write something new, I wouldn't read it.
Well, what if it was profound?
Well, he should have did that before I found out how deep into trying to protect rapists he was.
Yo, you know what? I also think about this. Kind of puts me in the mind of like Steve Harvey, right? Like Steve Harvey has had a radio show for a long time, and he's very popular in the Black community. In conscious circles, we know him to be an Uncle Tom. You know what I'm saying? But somebody before him that was way more popular and was on the radio a way longer time than him was somebody called Doug Banks. Okay. Doug Banks was a very popular radio show, and nobody would ever put him in the same category as Steve Harvey as being Uncle Tom. But I remember listening to his radio show, and all they used to talk about was going to party with Diddy, going to hang out with Diddy, going to the Hamptons at the white parties. And I thought about that. I was like, wait a minute now. That's all they used to talk about on their show. Like, and that just, you know what I'm saying? I began to think about that. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. What is going on? Like, that's all they would talk about was going to Diddy's parties and the Hamptons and hanging out with him. And that was the thing to do or be. So, I don't know, man.
Here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
If Doug Banks, who I don't know, shout out to Doug Banks. Never heard of him before this moment, right? Shout out to Doug Banks. Wish him well. If I heard Doug Banks talking about how much he was ready to go to a Diddy party, I'd never listen to Doug Banks again. Like,
but what did he do at the Diddy party?
He was there.
I don't know. I just remember they used to.
But see, this is the thing. We're not talking about Doug Banks. We're not talking about Doug Banks.
I have a friend who went to a Diddy party. I had a friend who went to a Diddy party.
Did he hang out with Diddy?
He didn't know Diddy at all. He got the invitation through like a third channel, but he was in New York City and he had a small startup that he was running and he was trying to court investors. And another person came to him and said, listen, I'm tied into the management industry of NBA athletes and musical artists. And a lot of up and coming artists and athletes are looking to invest in Black startups. Right. So he was like, listen, I got this, elevator pitch. And he was telling me he was really excited. He actually was sitting down I think he sat down with Isaiah Washington. Is his name Isaiah? I think it's a Isaiah Washington. He was able to pitch to him. And then he had told me, if I could just get in the room with Jay-Z, I really think I could get, the startup. So anyway, long story short, I knew a dude. He posted it on his socials. He's in the party, in his tuxedo and Jay-Z and Diddy, and he's there like that. I know the guy. Know his wife, know his children, and I've known him for years. And he was at the Diddy party trying to shake down some of these affluent, wealthy Black men to sponsor a Black business. I don't know, one of them, the basketball player, I think he said Isaiah Washington. But anyway, he made a pitch and was telling me about how Isaiah Washington was about to invest in his effort. Long story short, they all gave him a runaround and didn't give him no money. But I'm just saying there's a lot of people at Diddy parties for different reasons. And I don't know this person to be up to anything besides trying to get his various business ventures off the ground. And he felt that that was a shortcut to hobnobbing with these people since he can't call a meeting with them.
All right. So what I'm talking about is Josephus.
Why would I deny that? People just cast aspersions. Why would I deny Rick Rubin and Mossad? Why?
I don't understand. All right. What I'm talking about is
people just say random shit. I mean, why would I do that?
Yeah, that was weird.
And I do a lot of shit. Why not just call out the shit I actually have done instead of speculating about what I might do? That's just peculiar. Why would I do that?
So
I'm sorry.
If you second person plural are tied into going to Diddy parties, if you've been to a Diddy party, okay, like you really was at the party. I'm talking about people that was partying with P. Diddy. I can't even, okay. Diallo knows this to be true. If you some hardcore criminal, you real deal gangster, you can't be denied, I can't hang out with you. You know why? Because I'm going home. I'm not willing to not go home. So,
well, I guess it's what Meek Mill say. It's levels to the deviancy. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's the point that I'm making,
Meek
right?
Mill, oh, come on, Meek. Why is people you talking about still listening to Chomsky? Why y'all still messing with me?
It's levels to the deviancy. You know, everybody can't get into the deviancy.
Listen, no. I'm sorry, y'all. But this is what I'm talking about right here. Right? The only reason these people can make you do anything is because they have something you want. Right? So
okay.
This is the same conversation that I was having about when these Epstein in Hollywood, right? In ignorance, I was saying, I don't know why you would go to somebody's hotel room, because regardless of what on their mind, you just putting yourself in a situation that doesn't play out well. Well, in ignorance, I didn't know that is how there was a culture of you did that to audition for parts. So now I still think it's crazy, but I also understand why you did it. But here's the next step. When you second person plural want to get into a movie, a club, a record deal, your startup, whenever you go to these people asking them for something, if you're not willing to accept their no and keep it moving, then they have control over you. And that's what I'm talking about. So if you say to me, well, you'll never make a record in this town if you don't XYZ. Oh, my kid's good without me doing that. I'm straight. I'm not willing to do that. For the job, for the record deal, for the fame, for the Land Cruiser, for the whatever the thing is. I'm not willing to do those things.
I agree, but that's only half of it, though.
Okay, go ahead.
The other half is the people that make those propositions need to be exposed and held accountable.
I'm not tripping off that.
It's unethical, in many instances also illegal. So I agree, but there are people that have various vulnerabilities. Physical, psychological, emotional. There are a lot of vulnerable people out there. And I commend and I respect the people that are strong enough to say no. But it's no different than saying, well, if I'm walking down the alleyway and somebody jumps out to harm me, I can defend myself. I commend that, and that's respectable. But what about the people who can't? We still have to expose. It's not just enough to say, well, if you are giving a compromising offer, you can just say no.
Yep.
You know, sometimes
does this speak to the horribleness of capitalism? Because human beings, we shouldn't have to go through all this just to advance yourself in an endeavor that you might like.
Here's the thing, Mark. You don't have to. You don't have to.
But even in the R. Kelly situation, I don't know how true it is, but I've heard that there were families that pushed their daughters off on him because they saw a payday.
Okay, maybe the thing. You ready, Mark?
Yeah.
Poor people live every day.
Okay.
You cannot tell me my son loves playing soccer. You can't walk in my house and tell me, hey man, your son could come live with me, put your finger in your mouth, and I'm gonna take good care of him. Licks lips. And I'm gonna give you $100,000. I'm gonna pay off your student loans. I'm gonna buy you a new truck. I'm gonna get you a truck and a car. I'm gonna get you a truck, a car, and a house. There is nothing you could offer me for my child.
Can I tell you something though?
I agree, Skip. I agree 100%.
Go ahead, Diallo.
Again, my mother would have taken that deal, I believe.
Right.
My mother was a teenage, drug-addicted, homeless parent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she was 17 years old with 2 children, homeless, and come from drug addiction and an abusive environment her own self.
Mm-hmm.
She probably would have taken that deal. So I agree that there are people that have the personal and internal fortitude to resist. There are also people who have the material security to resist. But I think the focus should not be on the individual's ability to say no and be on the other individual's capacity to impose that or to even offer that, to offer the proposition and to impose consequences on those who refuse. I think that's where the focus should be.
I don't disagree. Because capitalism itself, because of the way it hoards resources and creates artificial scarcity, is going to create millions of young people that are vulnerable, that are not in a position to say no. And what I'm saying is, yes, you individually, me individually can say no. It sucks that some people say yes. And those people that proposition them should be punished, not to the fullest extent of man's law, but to the fullest extent of law of the universe. Whether that be God, whether that be justice, whatever that thing is, those people should be held accountable and should not be in a position to do that to folks. The problem that I have too often, though, is that people say, well, what you expect them to do? The best they can. And I think we just have to be willing to live without the trinkets that white people can promise us if we want to be the people that we say we are.
But Skip, though, that's not the thinking of our people. Just going back to the baby boomers, so to speak. I'll give you an example. I was going to work one morning. I get up early. I'm on a train going catch the purple line. And I used to have this conversation with this older sister who used to work at what's that university all the way out there? A big university. And we would talk about different things. And I would have the same attitude about what we talked to about Black issues. I would say, well, why didn't you do this or that? And she would tell me that, back then wanted what white people have. And, I couldn't wrap my head around it. I was like, well, what did they have? What do they have so much that you want? Like, I don't know. It just seems like, that's the way our people think. Like, we want what they have. And I don't really understand that thinking. But that seems to be the thought in our community for some reason, not to overthrow them, but to obtain what they have, so to speak. I don't know.
Yeah. And what I'll say is, I'm sorry that I wasn't being clear. I'm not blaming vulnerable people. What I'm saying is, you can say no. And I think sometimes we act as if, well, what I'm gonna do without this $300,000? Well, you didn't have it yesterday. So you're gonna do the same things you was doing yesterday without $300,000 that you would do without $300,000 tomorrow. I think we take a whole lot of this stuff. The same way we started this conversation with Diallo saying, hey, I mean, listen, at this point, I don't understand what you don't understand. And I'm sorry that the things that I'm saying are making you hear things in your head that I'm not saying. Or if I am saying them, I don't know that I'm saying them. And I'm sorry, I don't know how to make it sound clear. But again, I was disrespected on the job. And I left the job. And I had no plan. But this is just where I'm at right now. And I don't think everybody is not in the space to not say no to these things. And I don't know what part of me saying don't go over there is not attacking the system.
Well, I appreciate you, Mark. We got 2 more people and we're over time. So can we just get
the
next?
I'll let you guys go.
Hey, Numby, we gonna go to Chris first because you and Diallo always arguing. So we gonna let you and Diallo argue to close us out. So hold on, here come Chris.
No, this is gonna be sweet. We got like 5 minutes max.
All right.
That won't get me in trouble.
All right. Here come Chris. What's up, bro? I appreciate your private chat.
Yeah, what's up? How you doing?
What up with you?
I'm well. How you doing, Chris?
I'm doing good. This is a different Chris, though. This is a different Chris, not a regular Chris.
I know this, Chris. I know you, man.
But yeah, so basically on the whole Epstein conspiracy issue, I feel like the main problem is the elites control both sides. Like, to me, that's what I think. Like, the elites at the top, they control both sides. So like, we're thinking it's Democrats and Republicans fighting, but it's like they're all in cahoots together. You know?
Yep. Fair point.
I get in trouble when I say this because what happened? Because you can have a common goal and have such severe divergence on tactics, strategy, and methodology that you end up massacring each other. Catholics and Protestants have fundamentally the same point of view, the same outlook, the same goal to get to heaven and to spread the gospel. And they have been slaughtering each other for the last 1400 years. There is real divergence and conflicts between Democrats and Republicans. There is conflict and divergence within the Democratic Party. There is conflict and divergence within the Republican Party. Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is a right-wing racist white nationalist, had to not only resign from her position of authority, but go into hiding from Trump, the very man she helped to put into power. So when we say they're both on the same side, I talk about the myth of white unity because Chairman Fred Hampton, Martin Luther King, Kwame Ture, hell, I listened to an interview, and one interview was written, the other one between Bobby Seale and Huey P. Newton. And I read interviews that these men had given where they were tearing into each other. So even within a common goal, a common belief system, a common objectives, there are severe conflicts within. So I'm not sure how it serves us in our efforts to mount effective opposition to or subversion of the agendas of our enemies and oppressors by simply dismissing them as both being the same or both being on the same team or both controlled by the same people. There's real beef there. There's real beef. Even in the Democratic Party, you have a small pocket of what is called progressive Democrats that are beefing with the pro-Zionists. And there's a whole movement within the Democratic Party to stop the taking of AIPAC contributions. So there's a lot of beef throughout and a lot of conflicts. So simply highlighting that they're all the same, number one, it's just not true, or it's just not true. But why do we fear acknowledging the internal conflicts of our enemies and oppressors?
All right, here come Namdi. Namdi, come off mute.
What's good, y'all? How y'all
What's
doing?
up?
What's up?
Let him have it, bro.
I don't let him have what, man. I respect the brother, bro. I don't talk ill will of the brother D, man. But I guess my only question for y'all is I know a lot of our community have like a hang up on studying scholarship outside of our community. Majority of us, right? Especially when it comes to like trying to understand, white hegemony, white pathology, or like the system of this history and its, I guess what's the word? I can't think of the word. It's I guess where it was birthed or whatever. So I guess my question is, why do we?
A ceiling.
Yeah, appreciate it. But so how do we have? Why do our community have so much of a hang up when studying the enemy, and what like makes them want to be like, I don't want to study this European stuff because it ain't nothing in there that's important to us to be studying when we are in the system that is, on our excuse my language, but on our asses like every day.
You want to take, first of all, the comment is going crazy. The fact that I said that Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale did interviews where they were criticizing each other. That's crazy. Like, I don't understand why everybody's tripping off of that. But what you're basically talking about is menticide, the deliberate and systematic destruction of a group's mind with the ultimate goal being the extirpation of that group. Our movements for a long time. I know if you're Black and in the United States, you've heard all your life about how powerful and prominent the church has been in Black struggles and the power of the Black church. And every politician that is trying to court the Black vote knows they must go to the ministers, and even when there is a racist act throughout the 90s and early 2000s, there was a series of church burnings, when white people want to attack us. When the white boy wanted to attack us and start a race war, he went into the church and shot a bunch of Black people in the church. When the white racists want to attack Black people, they go and burn the churches. And people's like, why are they burning back churches? And I answered, if you were a white person who wanted to attack Black institutions, what else is there for you to burn? So irrationality and anti-intellectualism has been embedded in our organizational structures for the longest time. Even the people we love, I have an enormous amount of respect and love and admiration to Malcolm X. I've learned so much from him, but he was Minister Malcolm X. It was Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, even Leonard Jeffries, many of our prominent leaders, they are spiritualists, even if it's Ifa or Akan religious rituals. So one of the reasons why we go through this is because of there's a deep strain of anti-intellectualism, thinking that action is superior to thought and words, discourse and discussion and debate, that is somehow an anathema or an adversary of taking actions. And we will not accept that liberation is an intellectual endeavor. And we have not constructed a cohesive analysis, or as Bobby Wright said, we needed a worldview and a social theory. And we needed a Black radical worldview and social theory to orient our actions around. And we refuse to do that because from our inception into this country or coming under colonization, we have been ingrained that we are to be of strong body and weak mind. So that's why they have systematically destroyed our capacity for radical, deep, and comprehensive thought, analysis, scheming, and conspiring. People seem to think I'm demonizing conspiracies, but
hey, bro,
that would be my end.
I was reading that and thinking, I don't know how they hearing that, but whatever. Hey, and ask me, do you got you can hit Diallo up at on all social media platforms?
Yes. I would love to talk to Esme. And I hope she brings her cat.
You said she brings her cat?
In the profile picture. I'm a big fan of domestic house cats.
Oh, I didn't even recognize that. I
just
thought that was her hair.
Oh, okay. One more question, then I'm ghost. I know we over.
All right, well, make it brief, bro, because we, like it is. I don't know. You
I'm
must be
trouble, man. I'm scared to leave now.
Brunch.
I'm scared to leave now. It's late. I'm much later than I should have been, and now I want to stay on as long as possible because once I exit that door, I'm going to get yelled at.
Real quick. But to you, I guess I agree with your point. So I guess my only question, I know this might be unpopular. So does
dirty.
Some of this, I guess, some of this falls on, like I guess a few of our, I guess I would say like some of our older like revolutionaries who like sometimes they fall into like a place and they don't want to budge from, and they say, well, this is where we should be, instead of trying to move outside of that and trying to cultivate that I guess that type of climate where we can move past this like intellectual type of climate we in the in this organizing movement.
I don't understand the question.
Good, because I was really like, man, I know I took a gummy before we started this, and I'm starting to enjoy it now. But
see, all I do is go on air is a little bit of organic green tea, some trace caffeine.
Hey, but listen, Anonymous Grasshopper 4396. I didn't want to put this in the chat because I'm not logged in on another device, just on my iPad. But check out this guy, Dan. I can't think of Dan's last name, but he does a podcast, Hardcore History. He got about 12, 13 hours of a podcast. Talking about the Haitian Black Jacobins.
And the irritated genie.
Yeah.
I think the irritated genie, because there is a right-wing reactionary who made that his personal name, has really There's a book on the Haitian Revolution called The Irritated Genie, but there's also a right-wing reactionary, homophobic black leader.
Hey, buddy. You got into it with boy. He got a cease and desist off Legal Zoom, man.
Yeah, I saved that email. He scared me. He was gonna sick the law on me, but I guess it could have been worse.
Hey, man.
Yeah. He sent me that cease and desist, and I ceased it and desisted it.
Hey, that's Diallo Kenyatta that was talking about you, folks. But
he was right. He was right. Okay. He said that I called him a wife beater, and he said I didn't beat my wife. I just intimidated her to the point where she thought I was going to assault her. And which is true, according to his wife's own testimony, that he destroyed her property and intimidated and her to the point where the wife believed that she was under threat of her own life, but he didn't actually touch her. So, he was right. I took it too far, and I want to apologize to the Irritated Genie for saying that he did something that the law had yet to prove that he had done.
Yeah.
Now, right. For clarity, so don't get me in trouble, Skip.
Yeah, listen, Namdi, you want to try to clean your question up, or you gonna let us go?
No, man. I'm gonna let that once. I'm gonna let it go, bro. I appreciate y'all, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate y'all.
Like an hour and a half ago. We getting cloudy. My caffeine's wearing off, and his gummies kicking in. You just gotta.
Hey, again, I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate everything y'all do.
Y'all. Hey, hold on. Hey, El Manifesto. Listen to this. Hold on.
What?
Hey, man, look, boy. I be trying to tell y'all that I'm back. Look at this. I got raps in my phone, boy.
Okay.
I got raps in my phone, boy. Hold on. Let me find one of these raps. I'ma say it. You ready, El Manifesto? This for you. Madison and Brandon keep making it. Jackson keep taking it. Necklaces, earrings, and bracelets, bare faces. Run the play action because they can't wait to catch cases. Too real. The suckers can't identify the fragrance. Landlord of vagrant. Mount Range of pavement. Everybody wants smoke till they coughing and making statements. Then it's why we can't have peace. These gang rappers working for the police. These pigs is the clan, they just out of the sheets. These clowns risking life and limb for a like and a tweet. Make it sound good when you gon' lie on the beat. Them wolf tickets you was selling, see I kept the receipt. You sweet as a peep. Talking Stone and Robert when you know that you preach. I was a beast with Dolly pinching my cheeks. See these arms that I bear protect my freedom of speech. I can only squabble with equals, all others I teach. Jack a last man stand and read the corner like a man. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding. Too many rappers Peter Panning. They don't want to grow up. Grown man shit. Wolf man suckers is pups. See the beast or a dollar and start puckering up. Man, rap.
Next 2 shots. Nice. Appreciate you, bro. Are those your closing words?
Yeah, let's do it. That's the end.
All right, bro. Until next time, y'all. Like, share, subscribe. Support the African world order. Look up forward to new shows. And enough respect and appreciation to you, Skip,
man,
bro.
We got man, I love you, bro. And we got stickers that are in my possession. I got one on my car. We gonna get this
in the mailbox, bro. Let me check them. Send me.
All
All right, bro. And let's get them up on the site.
All right, love y'all.
Peace.